So here I am still journeying along the trail. It's probably a couple of kilometres on. We did have a break, like I hope you did, after journey number 4, the original deals, and reflect on those parts of you. We were lucky enough to have at the side of the trail some fresh coffee, which I brewed this morning, an essential in part of my journey, no matter where I am in the world, followed by a Cliff Bar to provide energy and sustenance for the next 2 to 3 hours of travelling on this track. We're here now to do journey away number 5. That's security blankets. So before we get into the work, and I know this can sometimes be culturally different, the language, but just keep in mind security blankets are those things that we must take with us wherever we go to keep us safe and protected. If you reflect on your own journey, whether it's yours or maybe your own children's, what they took with them anytime they left the house to feel safe and secure. It might be something as obvious as a teddy bear or a blanket. It could be a doll. It could be a G.I. Joe or other masculine toy, feminine toy without being gender specific. It may even be things like, dare I say it, thumb sucking. A lot of kids, their security blanket is day and night to be able to put their thumb in the mouth. And that's one of the reasons why it's very difficult for them to stop, because it keeps them safe and protected. There could be many others. I've had people use examples like keeping their lights on at night or their doors open. I've had people say it's actually an insect on me, I'm just moving that. Their dad, and when their dad died, they felt like they'd lost their security blanket. So it's just, think of it as something that keeps you safe, keeps you warm, and stops you from stepping into places where you might break your original deal and feel your original pain again, like you promised you never would, because the infinite strength of that pain and the infiniteness of it, meaning that, as some people have said to me, their experience of their pain was potentially worse than dying. We'll never know that until we're there. So as we take this journey, think of it like we have our original deal, which is the deeper programming that's embedded deep at an unconscious level and is very, very hyper-vigilant until we think about it, until we have a look at it. The security blankets are the next layer of protection that the original deals in their infinite wisdom create to support them, to ensure the deals are never broken. Generally, they're seen as experienced as something negative. For example, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, what if I fail, I'm not enough. There's four simple examples, but there's many, many, many more. Think of it this way. You're just about to step into a place where potentially the deep unconscious mind's original deal says, don't go there, that's not safe. One of the things it might say as an easy logical process is, oh, no, don't go there, I'm not good at that. I don't fit in those spaces. What if I fail? So their purpose is to stop you before the danger, stop you before the thing that could potentially break the deals. And remember, the deals are to be never broken. Now I'm climbing a hill now, and might be a bit puffy, but I'm going to keep going anyway. Our original deal creates these security blankets and continually adds to them, hones them, prioritizes them depending on the situation needed. It's like a toolkit for the original deals to make sure the best one's brought out to keep us safe, protected, and away from feeling the pain. There's a few, there's a few different types. They're in the book and they're in the worksheets. I'll go through them one by one without giving too many examples. Sometimes they're just the negative self-talk, shadow language, all the other stuff that psychology calls it. But it's the self-talk that's less than positive, less than encouraging of you to be great. And they turn up unconsciously quickly, and there is no necessary way at the moment to get rid of them. They're just going to show up if they sense fear. Like I said, if you don't feel enough or good enough, you may not partake in a new event. You may not try something different. You may not step into a relationship that you don't feel deserving or worthy of. So that's the first one, the inner babble about self, about whether you feel you're deserving enough, or anything that is listed in the book. The second one is judgments. Generally it can be judgment of self, but a lot of times judgment of others. Judgment of them not being like us, them not understanding us, them being different, which allows us to stay away from situations and people where we feel the trigger of not being enough, where we feel we may be exposed as being those things that we most deeply fear, and therefore potentially exposing us to feeling our original pain again. The original deal won't let you. It's just not possible. Justifications. Justifications are like excuses. They give you permission not to go somewhere. Inside you'll be, and by the way, sorry, I'll go back one step. All of our security blankets are internal. That is, they're not spoken out loud necessarily. They are our own voices for ourselves. Should have said it up front, but I hope that's clear from the book and from the worksheets. As said, justifications. Justifications give us those excuses not to step into places that aren't safe. Inside you might be saying, I'm not good at sport, so I won't try that. I'm not a good communicator. I'm an introvert. Whatever the language is, and again listed in the book and on the worksheets, what is it that you use as a justification for not stepping into your spaces? The fourth sort of security blanket, the internal, because it is internal, is the emotions. The emotions attached to those words, and those emotions can range from fear to anger, frustration, rage, disappointment, all those emotions that show up that don't allow you to move into the spaces that will be a bigger, better, full expression of yourself. You'll know them when they show up because they happen very, very quickly after the internal dialogue. The thought will come, the neural chemistry will shift, the release of adrenaline, the decrease of serotonin, dopamine, and other neurochemicals will change within a second once we feel those fears or other emotions. Just go through the worksheet, have a look and really own what's the internal dialogue you have. What's the justifications and judgments that show up for you in certain situations? What emotions are attached to them? They're your security blankets, keeping you safe and warm and away from stepping into any experience that could break your original deal and feel your original pain again. As I finish this journey, please go to the worksheets and the reflection questions. Check in with what shows up for you, and they will be contextual. There is no perfect science here. Just allow yourself to really own in your private space the truth of a lot of that type of language and feeling that shows up, your security blankets. Once we understand and have listed those, feel free to then move into the last journey away, the last journey of safety, which I call wet blankets. I'll explain those a little later, as they are for most people understandable in their simple language, but for some different cultures and upbringings that might not make sense. Just keep in mind that wet blankets, if security blankets are internal, that is the internal chatter, the emotions, the voices, the justifications, etc. Wet blankets are what happens on the outside, how they're expressed on the outside. So I look forward to seeing you for the journey of the wet blankets as I continue my magical journey. By the way, on the tree right in front of me here, if you'll see, is a little sign marker. That orange flag is a sign marker for the track. We have been lost a few times, so you do have to keep a very good a good eye on where you are. Both Kate and Lisa are in front of me now. But if you miss those, it could be a little bit uncomfortable. This track's very obvious and sometimes it isn't. So I'm hoping for you that the Deep Shift platform track is pretty obvious as you continue on your journeys away and I continue on my journey of the Carnarvon Gorge Great Walk.